Okay, here we are. We're starting this off. A new chapter, a new adventure, a meeting of minds, a meeting of the human intelligence, the architects of the future. And we just want to talk about who we are, what we believe, what we envision for the future, and how we can really support and empower the rising of human intelligence, the rising of the technology that is us, that each one of us embodies naturally when they allow themselves to be themselves. And so this is the beginning of a beautiful new adventure. Rex, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited that we are making these first steps in the official steps in the direction that we've kind of plotted for ourselves. We've had many calls over the last months, I guess now at this point, and finally it feels like things are moving. So, um, I guess we should do a quick introduction for ourselves, and I might as well. I'll go first. I'm already talking, so. Um, For those people that are watching, my name is Rex Leniczek. People that don't know me, and I am from Canada. I've been there my whole life pretty much, but I've traveled quite a bit, and I do love seeing the rest of the world. I uh, I have an education in sciences. I started studying physics, and I finished that degree and then decided, well, maybe I want to specialize in the direction of neuroscience because I was curious about psychology and how technology interacts with our biology. And I kind of wanted to go that direction. But then halfway through, I felt like it wasn't enough for me. It felt like it was too cold. It was too abstracted from the real world, and I wanted to get out and explore. And so I kind of just left my studies and traveled the world for a while, learned to ride motorcycle, and picked up photography in the process, and then got into the arts, got into film and not so much not so much film, but I have been on some film sets and I really enjoy that. But just any kind of creativity that I could pick up, that's kind of where I was going. And I started writing. I write pretty prolifically at this point now, and but then I also felt even within that world of art, I felt a little bit isolated. There was a lot of collaborations with people, but it still felt like I was very much in my own world, and I wanted to build something bigger than that. I wanted to like the whole point I think was to connect with people, and then but through the art, it was like temporary connections, and I was feeling like I needed to build something like I just need to connect deeper and know people better. So then, actually, I could go on to this point later, but at some point, I got in connected to things more of the esoteric studies. Like I was always very curious about those things, but then I started studying astrology a bit more in depth, and then I got introduced to human design, and that's something that really just picked my life apart and put it all in the right place. Like it just dissected me, and I said, okay, wow, like how can I see this and ignore it? And then I started also studying other people through that lens, and it was just so powerful, and it's just become this huge snowball effect. Um, and I think maybe I'm jumping a bit ahead, but on a point, but that's okay. Um, I think it's a natural flow. I'm going to trust it. Um, this kind of led myself to this kind of culmination of these desires and these paths that I was on to getting connected with other people like myself within the lens of human design. And so I met a bunch of other people like yourself, Sarah, and another. We'll call it we're mental projectors is our type within human design for those of you that know about it, and we'll talk more about that for those that don't. But basically within that coming together and relating on that level, I was inspired to say, well, why don't we take this ability that we have within this lens and put it to something bigger and build something from that. And so we started our own little community. We call it the Mental Projector Initiative, and that's where Sarah and I have kind of come together. And I'll let Sarah, you talk about some point about what you've been doing and how you kind of come into this group as well. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I love the flow of where you went. It was very, you had to do it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Sarah Linhares. I was born in Canada. My mother is Madeiran Portuguese, and I moved to Madeira Island, Portugal, 13 years ago from living in Montreal for a long time. And I have been basically a lifelong artist. I have always been creative, always been extremely imaginative. And from a young age, I also was tapping into energy, we could say, or the other realms. So, yeah, I've been deeply involved in the arts, singer, songwriter, performer, dancer, writer of poetry. Basically, I lived and breathed art, and I lived and breathed my deep seeking nature of spiritual consciousness, energetic mastery. So, those were kind of the two pillars of my existence since as long as I can remember. So I've gone deep, deep, deep down the rabbit hole, existential crisis after existential crisis. I struggled a lot with mental anxiety, panic disorders, depression, which I later learned was all by design, perfectly in alignment. But it all fueled my creative spirit. And at the same time, I always felt like I wanted to support empowering other people. So for a very long time, I was that person my friends would come to for like advice or how do I see things that could help them. So kind of naturally obsessed with psychology as well, human nature, studying patterns. Um, Fast forward many years, and I was teaching groups of people dance. I was a hiking guide, so I was guiding groups of people. And what I learned through all that process was that I was kind of a therapist to the groups, whether it was dance or, guiding or whatever. And basically, I began deeply studying things like astrology, deep dive into astrology. I became a Reiki master, so deeply studied energy. And then I found human design. And human design was this thunderbolt catalyst moment for me because I'd been studying all these modalities, how to find myself, how to understand the universe, how to understand other people. But this explanation just blew my mind because it made so much sense. And it explained these things that nobody else could explain to me so clearly. And so I went down the deep rabbit hole of what the heck is a mental projector? What is this thing? And kind of became obsessed and have been studying it deeply for 6.5 years, and to the point where this is part of the work that I do now. I use human design in the work I do, and I do consultations with people. And now I also guide a school, the Mental Projector Mystery School, for up and coming mental projectors, because our type, this mental projector, is still quite a mystery. It's very enigmatic, complex, and misunderstood. We're kind of a type of underdog, we could say, where we're potentially not understood by most people, and even in the human design community. So luckily, I found Rex on one of these groups online and loved one comment he said, responded, felt this drive to I need to speak to that person, and then he reached out. Anyways, joined the Mental Projector Initiative, which is this beautiful, very small collective of mental projectors that want to expand. Interestingly, well, okay, now we're going too deep into details, but now we're here and we want to bring, what we've learned to the public, because we are here to be seen and we are here to share our wisdom, you know, and we are here for those who resonate with this, not for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's great. But yeah, it's a good. Actually, I think I've heard some pieces in there that I didn't hear before, so it's nice. Like the whole, I
Ooh.
think the hiking thing. I don't know if I heard that part, but
Oh,
yeah. So
cool.
it's so basically the Mental Projector Initiative in that sense, as you've kind of described, is that our the objective of our group is a bit twofold, or I guess maybe threefold. Firstly, we want to bring awareness to our type of person, like our design of how we function in the world, and just give insight. And hopefully, in that process, we're finding a better way to be of service to the world, and also just like to find the correct appreciation or recognition that we so desire, because I feel like all of us can relate in that we've kind of lacked that in our lives, and we struggle to get the correct recognition. That's firstly, that's a big struggle for projectors in general. For anybody that knows human design, you'll understand that. But second, but very much for mental projection. So we can dive into a little bit about these details about what it means to be a mental projector, for especially for people that haven't heard about human design. But first, we should talk about human design. So
Yes.
I'll give my
Yeah.
piece, and then you can see what you need to add to it. So human design is a system, an esoteric system of wisdom. We'll just say it's just a mechanic for people to connect a lot of different esoteric philosophies and wisdoms, such as I Ching, which is an ancient Chinese divination system, and basically encompassed a whole bunch of different. How I see it is just the spectrum of human nature, all the different energies that are possible within human nature. And it combines that with astrology, traditional astrology, but also some variations on that. And then also the chakra system, which has also been updated. And then also the Sephiroth, or like the Kabbalistic tree of life, it integrates all of that too. So I think there's also some other pieces in there, but that's the primary pieces.
Well, don't forget the genetic
Yes, oh yeah, there's
genetic.
genetics embedded in that too. Well, especially since Richard Rudd, I wonder if that's what Richard Rudd, like his piece was. He saw the genetic aspect. Well, no, I think Raw talked about it too. Anyways, so the person that founded Human Design, well, we won't, he doesn't like to say founded, because he just says he just had like a vision. He had some kind of a transmission in a certain trance state of his life, and something told him that this is the system that needs to be built, and he did it, and he shared it with people, and that was his life.
Yeah.
And from that grew a lot of other ideas. One of them being Richard Rudd's gene keys. And Richard Rudd was a student of Ra Uru, which actually whose original name was Alan Krakauer. He was from Canada. He was from Toronto, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Montreal.
Sorry, Montreal. Okay. Yeah, so he was from Canada, and but he lived in Spain most of his life after that. So, anyways, this is the history, and so what Richard Rudd did, I might as well introduce that, because I think I do work a lot with that, and a lot most people that work with human design touch on that. Is Richard Rudd, he went off and he basically elaborated on the details of the I Ching within the context of human design, and really created this elaborate it's a very poetic expression of the details behind it and also the integration of the pieces. So it just really nails things down very well, I think, and gives a
Mm,
broader perspective. So um, there's those, these are the systems that I resonate very strongly with, and I think a lot of people in our community do. Um, and basically they're just tools for a person to connect deeper with, firstly, being curious about the self, being curious about what is actually true for the self, what is my reality and what do I actually care about. It kind of breaks you free, at least my perspective, it breaks you free from the overly logical mind or the overly visual mind. You're kind of taken away from the world and put in a sort of trance so that you are free to be more natural. It's just like it's to break down the systems that you've been trained within through your life, through the conditioning of parents and teachers and society and all these things, try to break you free from that so that you can really become you. Um,
yeah.
and it's funny because I tell a lot of people, I say this system could be bullshit. It could all be a bunch of bullshit, and it. But at the end of the day, what it does is it empowers you to be true with yourself. Even if it is. So, but I do. But beside that point, I have seen so much accuracy in all of the specific details within the system. So I can't. It's hard for me to even say that it is bullshit because I've
Yeah.
seen so much truth within it. It's crazy actually. So, anyways, that's human design. Do you have anything to add to that as well? Is there any pieces I've missed?
Yeah. Yeah. I think human design is this system that combines the fusion of ancient wisdom practices with modern biology, genetics, quantum physics
Yeah,
is
exactly.
also
It also
involved.
touches on some physics too. Yeah.
And basically, what it teaches is that each of us is unique. They call it the science of differentiation, meaning
Yeah.
that each and every one of us is completely unique. And it gives us practical tools to work with our energetic system. So it's kind of like an energetic blueprint so that you can meet less resistance and allow yourself to be who you actually are instead of trying to be like other people, which is what we have all been taught since we were children. So this guy, Ra, I think he's like a messenger. He comes in as a messenger. And one interesting thing about him is he was not esoteric at all.
Before
So
that, yeah.
even he was like shocked by this whole channeling, receiving the information. So that kind of makes it even more interesting. And also, this is a system that doesn't ask you to believe anything. It's all about you try it out. Just try it out and see if it's true for you or not. And like Rex just said, it is, for me, it's like life changing, shocking, accurate. It is like, whoa. And I've studied a lot of systems to learn about the self. And so far in my life experience, this has been the most direct, fastest, most accurate information that I've witnessed. Yeah. So basically once you learn about human design, you find out your type. There are basically four types of energy types, and then you learn about your authority, and you learn all these words that might sound like mumbo jumbo if you don't know what this is yet. But basically, they give you an idea. Oh, we are projectors. So we are here to learn how to see and read energy in the other. We're like focused on the other, we're penetrating into the other, and we are here to be guides. We're here to guide the energy.
we should I'm just gonna pause for a second because we only have 10 minutes left, and then I'll
Ah,
just cut the video and I'll jump into like a new session here, and then we can
mhm.
dig into the details of what that is. I think, yeah, exactly all the specifics of it. Yeah. All right, here we are, and we're starting back into part two, where we're gonna dig into the details behind all of this. I'm very excited about this because I'm about the details. Um, so
Yeah.
I think to actually also give an extra like one additional perspective, I'll put kind of maybe I should put some body graphs up at some point in the video when we're talking about things to show different types. But um, essentially, it's not just about energies; it's about a full mechanical system. It's breaking down the way that these energies where they sit in the body, in our physical body, what they do to us, like in a real way, like how they affect us in our day-to-day life, and also how they interact with each other. So it's a very elaborate thing. It's very logical. It's very practical. Um, it's not just waving the hands, blah, 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 this and that.
Yeah.
So it's very specific. Um, and that's something Raw really tried to like reiterate all the time. Um, so yeah, as you were saying, Sarah, is that there's the different types. Um, Actually, let's not go into that right now in this video. I think that we should
Okay.
just finish up with our what we have to do, and we can do some videos coming up regarding the actual details of things. But we can talk about at least mental projectors, and we can describe
Yes.
that, and we can describe how each of us is at least a little bit within that context. So. Mental projectors. The type of a mental projector is a type that doesn't have a consistent physical energy. So we, well, any projectors, it doesn't have a consistent physical energy. Some of them do have energy, projectors generally, but mental projectors, the type that Sarah and I are, and the rest of our group is, um, don't have any real body energy. The only energy we have is through a transit of the planets or interaction. Oh yeah, but also we have energy up in our minds. It's very much in our heads, not so much in the physical body. But we do amplify the energy of other people around us. So it will seem like we have lots of energy and we do lots of things, but we don't. We get burned out easy because we think that it's us, and we start living a lifestyle that is about doing and action and all these things because it's kind of expected, it's kind of the norm. But it's not healthy for us, and it doesn't. We can't compete. We can't. First of all, we can't keep up. And secondly, we can't compete because there are people that just have more energy than us. So we need to depend as mental projectors on the intellect of our minds and the communication of that information. And that is the most important thing for us as mental projectors. There are a couple of variations even within the mental projector type. Some mental projectors are very good at downloading information and getting new information all the time, constantly inspired. Um, Whereas some are very good at communicating that information. Some are both, but there can be some combination of those two. And then there's, of course, an aspect called the profile type of a person, and the profile is kind of their archetype, their overall archetype of who they are. For myself, I'm a 5-1 profile, which means that five is not, there's some numerology in this. Five is about being heretical. It's about being a bit of like a leader and challenging the norm and um, universalizing things because it's you want to take him, and then there's a one. So I'm going to talk about how they work together. The one in the 5-1 is the investigator. It's at the bottom of the lineage of the numerology there, and so you're starting fresh in some energy, and you're new to the world. You're exploring, you're understanding, you're investigating, you're studying. So the 5-1, the way it works is I see it is that they always have to operate firstly from that lower number, and then you can operate from the higher number. It builds up. So you have to first do the research, do the study, get confidence in what you know or what you're learning, and then you can have, for me, I can have that power to be a bit of an authority, be challenging, and lead with the five. So it goes that way. We can talk about the
Mhm.
unconscious conscious stuff later, but this is the basics of that. And I'll let and then Sarah, you can go with yours.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I love that. Yeah. Also, I would add to the five line, the five is seductive and is in a projection field.
Right.
So I'm also a 3-5. So we share the five. I have an unconscious five, and Rex has a conscious five, meaning we both encounter a lot of projection. So people see us as a savior or as a failure, or whatever they imagine we are. We
Yeah.
let them
Whether
down.
we meet the projection or whether we don't. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, yeah. So
But what about the
just,
three?
oh yeah, sorry. I lost myself there for a
It's
second.
okay.
So
I
yeah, so
interrupted.
about the, about the three. So the three is all about trial and error. It's the martyr. It's being crucified because you're going to try the thing first. So you're going to fall off the cliff. You're going to die by mushroom poisoning, So I'm just rolling around, bumping into life, by bumping into people to figure out what works, and more importantly, what doesn't work. So I'm kind of a master of experience. I have to experience it, whereas Rex needs to like deeply study and feel secure in that studying. I'm just like, oh hell, let's just do this and roll down the hill, and then I fall, and then
Yeah.
I know what I'll never do again. And therefore, what I can tell someone else to save them time, energy, and pain.
Yeah.
Um, so that's 3-5. One other thing I would add to the mental projector thing is, so all of us mental projectors, we either have the crown, ajna, and throat. So either two or three of these centers, and then everything below is open or undefined, meaning we are extremely vulnerable. We are extremely sensitive to
I know.
feeling everything in our environment. And also, our environment, the space we inhabit, is our authority, which is we are the only projector in the entire projector family to have no, let's call it direct authority, no inner authority, which means we don't have a consistent, reliable way of finding our this is right for me or this is wrong. So this is the other reason we are so misunderstood, we are so mysterious, is because even within mental projectors, we still are trying to figure out how to make decisions that are right for us. And basically, mental projectors are masters of discerning frequency and vibration, understanding what is happening in our body and in a space. Even if we're unconscious that we're doing that, we've been doing this our whole lives. We've been feeling places and being like, this isn't right for me, or this is wrong. So that's another mysterious part of our design. Yeah, I just wanted to add that.
Although, but we're still not really connected to the actual feeling of it all the time. It's like we can, I don't know, we're sensing all the information. The way I describe it for myself is like I'm always sensitive to the what's happening, but I'm not always connecting to whether it's right for me. Because so the way it works,
Yeah.
the way it works is the authorities, there's different authorities, there's different chakras in the body, as we talked about the crown and the ajna and the throat. But then there's chakras below the throat as well. And each of these chakra centers represent a different kind of function in our biology and or our physiology. And anything above the throat, at the throat and above, they're not about authority. They're not about making decisions personally. So authority means that This is about you making your own decisions, your own personal authority. Okay, how you decide. And we don't have any consistent access to that information. We have to use our environment and the people around us to connect to those pieces, express what is needing to be expressed from that intelligence, that through that connection, and then hearing that information back to ourselves. So it's called soundboarding. So we need
Mhm.
to soundboard to understand what is important for us. But a lot of the times, the problem is a lot of times is that people will, especially with fives, actually, now I'm realizing people will give back instead of just listening and allowing us to hear ourselves, like instead of us hearing ourselves, is people will think that we're trying to talk to them to get a solution, and they'll give us their opinion and all their ideas and also all their projections of what they think that we should be like and all these things. And so we're actually not even getting the correct information. We're just
Yes.
listening to them instead of hearing like, oh, okay, what I actually need is what I need, and what I'm saying is important. So it can be a very confusing process to come to a personal decision that is correct for
Yeah.
us. I There must be something going on in my throat chakra today. I
Yes,
gotta get
absolutely.
back in tune with your energy because you're gonna connect me. But the where was I going with? Oh no, so other people in contrast, other people have either an identity center activation, the chakra of identity, which is a newer chakra, and or they have an ego or a heart center activation, which gives them just like choices through their willpower, like through what they just want to do, and it's usually very like community based heart-centered decisions, or it's splenic, which is cold, calculated, logical, trying to survive, figuring things out that way, or emotional. Oh yeah.
Instinctual.
Yes,
The
instinctual.
spleen.
Well,
Instinctual.
yeah,
Yeah.
instinctual or and also intuitive. Yeah. But
Yeah.
also,
Yeah.
sorry, also there's a sacral as well. The sacral is also technically an authority.
Yeah.
So we're not going to go into all those details, but that's just to give like the perspective of like the mental projector thing. We're very abstracted from ourselves, and therefore we need extra help to just to live just to live our lives. We just want to live our lives and not be living, you know. Because so basically, this is how I describe it. We're basically, on The Simpsons, they had those heads floating in the jars.
Yes.
Yeah, we're or no,
Yes.
sorry, was that Futurama or was that Simpsons? Anyways,
I don't know.
one cartoon. I didn't watch it enough to know. Anyways, we're like these little brains just floating in space, and sometimes we can communicate, sometimes we can't. But people will plug into that because it's so powerful, but because we don't have that like awareness and clarity in terms of what we need for our physicality, like for our embodiment in this world, we tend to get just kind of used a little bit, like people want to use our intelligence, they want to plug into that, but um, we don't have, unless we're trained, unless we have the tools that we need to protect ourselves, then we can very easily be taken on a journey that is not about us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. So this is just a little side note on the struggles of mental projectors, which is we're extremely mental. We're extreme intelligence. We're like these maniac brainiacs. We're constantly seeing patterns, calculating, seeing what doesn't work, detail oriented, knowing things that we can change someone's life. So we're constantly getting all this very valuable, incredible information. But then what the heck do we do with it? What we need to learn to do is not identify with the mind that is giving us all this info, because our mind is not meant to be used as our authority making decisions. So but our minds as
It's
mental
always trying to
projectors,
make decisions.
yeah, it's always trying and it's always calculating and it's always giving more information. It's like we are a type that can never just go into a blank mind in meditation. Like
I
that.
disagree. I disagree. I think we can,
Okay.
but it's always going to get to a point where we do have information that we want to share and work on, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So like we can like we can go into a blank, like at least for me, because I have this center channel,
Hmm.
which is mystery and that return is that addictive thing. But the city of that, the higher frequency of that addiction is silence. So really,
Hmm.
actually, the ultimate level is
Ah,
just being in a very like it's almost just meditation. To me, the full representation of meditation, because that's a
yeah,
channel of awareness. And all I'm
yeah,
doing is like I can turn off, if I turn off my mind, then the information just comes to me. Like even right now, as I'm talking, I'm not trying to think. It's just flowing
okay,
out from me, right? And
yeah,
so there is a point where we can kind of we'll say turn it off, but but it's not really turned off. You know what I mean? It's not self destructive. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like when I say we can't turn it off, it's like even when and I've done like deep meditation practice where I like went into like a black hole and like I didn't have a body and, was like, oh, I've had all kinds of crazy esoteric experiences. But even in those moments, a lot of stuff was happening. So
Okay.
whether it was the feeling,
Yeah.
whereas like I did try to train with Buddhist monks, and I could not get to nothing with the mind.
Not
Like,
completely.
yeah,
The best you can do is get to non-attachment
yeah, yeah,
of the
yeah.
ideas. Yeah.
That's the hope we all hope for. So basically, mental projectors are incredible resources and assets for other people because we have a vision of the other. We have a vision of how things operate that is so precise, so like we see all the pieces, we see the patterns, we see the energy, we see the psychology, we know the things, but
Through
we
the
cannot,
openness. Yeah.
yeah, we can't know. It's like we are blind to ourselves. So it's like we need to be positioned in a way that other people are able to see us expressing our gifts, which is
And
our
appreciating
vision,
it.
which is, yeah. So this is part of what we're doing here is we want to begin to showcase this unique expression of the intellect, the human intelligence, which is perhaps stronger than AI. I don't know, we'll see.
I,
But
I personally think so.
yeah, I do too. AI is great for certain things, but our technology of the mind is so powerful. It's so powerful when it's working in tandem with another, like helping or supporting or focusing on the other, problem solving. We are really problem solvers, and we are really empowering guides of others.
And just the fact that we're human beings is the trump card that gets you beyond AI because there's nothing that you can it's so I always find it funny anytime a human being tries to like recreate a human being, it's just like it's always going to be inferior. It's always going to be inferior. I don't know what you guys are thinking. You're like, oh yeah, you're gonna create some new human being. No, if you get to that point, you might as well just have a baby. You might as
Yeah,
well just can give birth. What are you guys doing? So
yeah,
anyways,
totally.
yeah.
Yes. So let us talk about, so what are we doing here? We're basically starting a conversation and a
Yeah.
meeting of minds where we want to bring attention to the way that we see the world and what we care about, which is the future of consciousness, the future of human evolution, the future of humans being uniquely themselves instead of trying to be like everybody else. So we want to support the underdogs. We want to support people empowering themselves to not conform, not be like everybody else. And in this rise of human design is on the rise in a big way,
Yeah.
and there's more and more information. We want to shine a light into the mystery of this intellect that is, honestly, we could go on for days and years and we could talk endlessly about anything, but we have to shut up at some point because people don't want to hear it.
Reach a limit, and then tomorrow maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Uh,
That's very good. Thank you for that, Sarah. Yeah. So basically, what our plan is we would like to have video conferences with other intellectuals, not just people that are into human design, but other intellectuals generally about important topics to share our intellect, our ability, and see where it goes. I think it's more of an exploration. It's not like we really have an intention at this point. It's more like we want to provide value firstly, but also we want to see what good energy can we generate from these interactions with people? Because I think that discussions are very important in the world. I think that's as a mental projector, this is like our main output of it's our main value because we don't have the energy to really do something and make something happen so much in the physical world. We can do things. We're still a body, but our specialty is our mind, and the importance of that is communication of that information. And from that, then that's really all we need to focus on. And good things should come from that. And so we're creating a space for that to happen, sharing the information that we have inside of us and sharing the and just helping the world, like I think that's the main thing. But at some point we do want to get connected with the right people that need this intellect, this intelligence and this awareness. So
Yeah.
it's twofold. Is we want to explore and share ideas and just and have fun with that, but then also getting connected to the right places where it's of value. Yeah.
Yeah, and also like what we are creating in essence is we're building our relationship, we're building our like fractal group, we're expanding out into the universe, connecting and touching those people that are meant to interact with us and work with us. And we are creating a think tank for the future which can be in support of a business or a collective or a project of the future or individuals. And I want to do our little shameless plug, which is both Rex and I are consultants and we do work one on one with people. We have our different specialties, and you can check out the links below because we are both extremely passionate about connecting with others, supporting, empower them in whatever they are going through. So do check out what we do. Also, if you're interested in the Mental Projector Mystery School, check out the link below. Um, do you want to say something else about that, Rex?
No, I think that's good. I think that I think Sarah, you're a great space for people to go if well, I mean, either of us are a great space for people to go to find more out about the whole human design thing and the whole especially the mental projector thing, because you've got your school, you've got a specific program that you're already doing, you've got that set up. I can teach about it too, but it's I don't have anything pre-planned. It's just kind of like a free like talk, an open talk about things. But we both have our own services. But beyond that, we want to get connected with these with the different intellectuals and use the community that we have. I think we should try and get involved with all the other people in our community as well. I think that's our intention. But if anybody has some interest in this, and as you guys see more of the videos that we're putting out and connect with it, then if you guys have ideas for how you want to connect with us, let us know. If you have ways that you think that we can be of service, we love to hear the feedback and we love to talk with you more. So
Yeah,
thanks for watching. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Is that good?
I think that's amazing. And I just want to highlight as well that I feel like Rex is amazing at looking at relationship and how interconnecting mechanics. That's just a little plug for you. But yeah, like definitely check out what we do as this evolves. And we are going to be flowing with the universe because all we can do is surrender into the flow, which is a huge part of being a human, is just accepting that we are not in control of everything and we are just going along our little life journey, meeting the right people at the right time. And it's a very exciting adventure to be living on earth at this time.
Yeah, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be here.
Yeah, me too.
Well, thanks
So
everybody for watching. We would really appreciate if you guys would subscribe if you found value, at least in this initial video. And we look forward to, well, also, you should put the notification, I'm going to do the whole spiel, put the notification bell on because, new stuff's going to come out and we're going to talk about some pretty cool topics. And I think it'll be valuable for a lot of people.
Yeah, me
Okay.
too. See you next
See you
time.
next time. Ciao.